You heard Eric Holder and Barack Obama today as they talk about the Ferguson police force, like they own it, like two bullies pushing it around? What exactly has the Ferguson police force done? They have a couple knuckleheads that wrote emails that they never thought would see the light of day, racist emails, and they've either been suspended or dismissed. And I'm sure none of that has gone on in the federal government. I'm sure none of that goes on in Hollywood, like Sony Pictures. Remember that one, Mr. Producer? I'm sure none of that has gone on in Eric Holder's immediate office when he talks about white people or what have you. And I'm sure nobody has written any nasty emails in the Oval Office. And we know Hillary Clinton hasn't, because she's told us that. She's destroyed all her emails, but who cares, right? This is a litigation tactic that's used all the time. It's a fishing expedition. So you find a handful of emails. They're nasty work. The lawyers pull their hair out and go, oh, my God, this email, I got to defend the email. Because they know that slip-and-fall lawyers on the other side will use those emails and exploit them to paint an entirely false picture about a major company or even a police department. I want you to think about this. In all their investigation, all the time, complete access to the records of Ferguson Police Department. 3 knuckleheads out of what, 100? I don't think that batting average would be much better in the federal government. I think it would be much worse. And then they talk about their statistics. You know, the pigmentation of those who were stopped more than others at traffic lights. And then they compare that to the percentage of the population. Well, first of all, forget about race for a second. Does the percentage of the population drive based on the percentage of the population? Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Producer? What if one racial group drives more than another? I have no idea. So really, if you're going to try and use statistics, which tell you nothing really in this instance, but if you're going to use statistics, it wouldn't be the percentage of the population in a given race versus how often they're stopped. It would be the percentage of the population that drives more than another percentage of the population. Then you can get some apples to apples. But even that proves nothing. It's inferred that that's racist. And so, of course, Holder and Obama are not about facts. They don't care what the hell's going on in Ferguson. They don't live there. Holder lives in a Tony neighborhood, very wealthy neighborhood outside of Washington and Maryland. Of course, Obama lives in subsidized housing, which we subsidize. They're never going to set foot in Ferguson, Missouri again. So that's the little petri dish. So Eric Holder's asked, what if this Ferguson Police Department doesn't enter into agreement with them? What if they won't do what you say? Will you dismantle the entire police department? Here's what he says.
If that's what's necessary, we're prepared to do that.
If that's what's necessary, we're prepared to do this. This jerk at the Justice Department has the power to dismantle a local police force on nothing more than phony statistics and some emails that 3 knuckleheads wrote? The whole pretext for this was the shooting that occurred, and the pretext was false. And this isn't the only police department they're doing this in, as my buddy Andy McCarthy's been writing, and he wrote most recently in National Review Online. They're shaking down one police department after another. And what they're doing is exactly what I said as soon as the Ferguson matter broke. The only one who said it. They are nationalizing our police departments. From Ferguson, Missouri, to New York City, to Cleveland, and everything in between and around. They are racializing them. They are social engineering them. They're undermining them. That's what's going on a phony pretext. And the reason they won't let go of Ferguson, Missouri, is because from their fanatical ideological point of view, if they let go of Ferguson, Missouri, they can't continue to shake down one police department after another. The police departments are being targeted by Barack Obama and Eric Holder. You damn well bet they are. From the moment that Michael Brown was shot and killed, the next day, I said that what they're saying cannot possibly be true. No police officer, certainly in front of witnesses, is going to execute a person who has their hands in the air and is surrendering. I got a call from one of my buddies who said, don't go out so far on a limb on this. You don't know that. I said, I know. A lot of the other hosts now, real tough, held back. Let me see how this plays out. I don't need to see how this plays out. It never made sense. What the lying witness said. The former criminal who lied to the police, Brown's buddy, never made any sense. And, of course, we know that it didn't. So who should be charged with what here? Barack Obama and Holder using a lie in Ferguson, Missouri to spread racial tension and hatred. That's what these two men do. That's worse than these emails as far as I'm concerned. That's the President and the Attorney General of the United States. And so now they've torn this town to pieces, Obama and Holder, and they'll move on with their lives, and they'll never walk through that town, and it won't much matter to them. That's the nature of the Marxist mind. That's the nature of the totalitarian mind. Their bigger goals, their bigger objectives. So what? People get hurt. So what? People die. So what? Towns are destroyed. So what? Here's Obama today in South Carolina at Benedict College. You know, John Boehner may want to go there. Benedict College just had Benedict Arnold College. He could be the chancellor. Cut 5, go.
What's striking about the report is a lot of this was just using emails from the officials themselves.
Let's stop. 3 of them. What about the emails from your Secretary of State? What about the emails from your EPA administrator who also destroyed her emails? What about all the emails in the federal government? What are you guys hiding there, Obama? Go ahead.
It wasn't like folks were just making it up. But the city of Ferguson will now have to make a decision. Are they going to enter into some sort of agreement with the Justice Department to fix what is clearly a broken and racially biased system?
There you go.
Or if they don't, then the Justice Department has the capacity to sue the city for violations of the rights of the people.
Yeah, and here's the problem. These little towns can't afford these massive lawsuits. And Obama knows it. So they're going to have to surrender their independence, that town. The voters, black and white and in between. They're going to have to now surrender their independence as a town. Because Obama and Holder are trying to paint this like this is some kind of horrifically racist town. You never heard that before. I never heard that before. And if the best they can do is talk about some emails from 3 employees and traffic stops, that's a pretty damn weak case. You know, that's the phony case that they make.